Thank you. You'll have to bear with me as I get teary whenever I hear my story. Just give me a minute. Anyhow, as she said, I am a cancer patient, but also a local psychotherapist. And as a part of my practice, I do see a lot of cancer patients, and I don't cry with them all the time. But I do hands-on support with them, and I did that actually before I got diagnosed, and it taught me a great deal for when I got diagnosed. And you know, when I was writing up this presentation today, it made me realize how overwhelming when you get presented all the research and the information, and as a patient it is. And as a part of my process, everybody would ask me, how did you do it? How did you work? How did you date? How did you parent and do it all by yourself? And you know, I've often talked to many different people on how to manage life as a young professional going through cancer treatments. And I always joke that my best defense was denial. I detached myself as a cancer patient. I focused on taking care of my children, pretended like nothing was happening. In the chemo suite, they would joke because I would be making appointments with clients, with patients, and they knew me in those two roles. One thing that my children and I did is that we took pictures all throughout my cancer treatments at different stages. The reason for that was just for me to be able to process and see the changes that cancer was doing for me, and also to try and maintain a sense of feeling beautiful after my body was being torn apart and understanding what was going on. Out of that experience, I realized how isolating cancer can be as a professional, partly because of my denial, but I also hid it because the reactions that I received were quite negative in regards to people being having pity for me. And out of that, last year, we did our next photo shoot as a family and individually, but we did a movie called Mom Has Cancer. And it's my kids and I talking about the experience to try and break free from the secrecy, trying to break free from feeling embarrassed by it. And we threw, actually, the movie together within a couple of days and sent it off to a film festival in Toronto. The film festival accepted it, and we went through a period of voting where people could vote for my film in order for us to win to raise awareness. And what happened was a bit of a whirlwind for us as a family. The press got a hold of it, and as you know, things snowball, and we were in newspapers, on radio, and on TV, and you'd think by now I wouldn't be in tears after presenting my story, but every single time I talked about my story and having to work and parent and do it all by myself, every reporter cried. On Rogers, I went on, and the reporters were crying as they were interviewing me, which didn't help matters, which resulted in me crying as well. And I think just showing how difficult it is to navigate cancer when you're trying to maintain your professionalism, right? And trying to maintain your career and how you're viewed in the public. And what happened was we ended up winning the film festival. And you're gonna make me cry again. Anyway, and CTV actually went out and interviewed the kids at school, and I think that was the best thing for them because they felt like superstars. Anyhow, so what we decided to do out of our experience is we started to develop programs and try to turn around through public education for people to see the face of cancer and not to be scared of us. You know, my kids felt very strongly that they wanted other kids to talk to. Like, they wanted to talk to kids whose parents had cancer to understand what was going on. And they talked a lot on TV about that. And as a result, Wellspring welcomed me, and we developed a program for parents who have cancer in their children. And anyway, I just feel very fortunate that we've received a lot of support. We've had lots of people come forward in different ways to be able to help other people that were in my position so that no one else has to go through that by themselves. And, you know, the more that I talk publicly, the more I hear that other cancer patients have gone through the same experience, and we really hope that families will have a different experience through this process.